Well, good afternoon, just afternoon, and welcome to Trinity Cathedral on this really vintage spring day. It's nice when occasionally, you know, the stars kind of line up so the weather and the music and everything kind of feels at one. As you know, here in Cleveland, it's not always that way. We could have this springtime bouquet program, and we could have a foot of snow happening outside just as easily. So I'm terribly grateful about the nice coordination of weather and music mood here today. And I think you probably share that, and I know you'll enjoy this next hour of music just as much as I will. We've been so looking forward to having the Amethyst Quartet back in action after way too long of a COVID break here. So it's just great to see these four dear friends and wonderful musicians back in the flesh and braving it without masks here today, too. So, and I noticed just looking around, I think this is the first time that I've really seen the BrownBag audience with majority no masks. So I don't know why that is today, but it's okay, you know? So everybody's got their booster shots, that gets their booster shots, and feeling brave and protected and all that stuff. So it's wonderful, and we're so glad to be back in what feels like a bit more normal circumstances, and keep our fingers crossed that continues. If you look on the back of your program today, you'll see both the lineup for our next four BrownBags, which finish up the spring season. 2 weeks from today, we have the Salzedo Harp Duo, which is the renowned harpist Jody Gwynn and Nancy Lendrum. Jody, a lot of you know here in Cleveland. She's the second harp in the Cleveland Orchestra, principal harp in the Akron Symphony, and Nancy is likewise the principal harp in the Toledo Symphony. So they play these two harp programs every so often, and it's always very, very special. Gorgeous music and fun to watch their coordination as they play together. So that's 2 weeks from today. And then three weeks in a row, the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th of May, we're going to celebrate the 200th birthday of the great French composer César Franck with organ music, chamber music, and vocal music from his pen. So those promise to be really beautiful programs involving a number of different performers. So we hope you'll join us as often as you can for these last four concerts on the BrownBag season. And you'll note at the bottom of the page our Holy Week and Easter schedule as well. Very busy week here at Trinity Cathedral next week. And I would point out especially our Good Friday concert, which is a week from this Friday, of course. That's the 15th of April, significant date. 7:30, featuring the Trinity Chamber Singers and the Cathedral Choir. The Chamber Singers will sing the poignant and very beautiful setting of the Lamentations by the Elizabethan English composer Robert White. And the Cathedral Choir will sing the Requiem, 20th century piece by, again, English composer John Rutter. So very beautiful pieces, both from the same country, but about 400 years separated between those pieces. So they're very different sound worlds, but equally beautiful. So we hope you might join us. That's a free concert right here, 7:30. It's the first time in 3 years that we've been able to do our Good Friday concert. So we're so looking forward again to being back in normal circumstances. Put it on your calendars. I think that's all I have to say. We won't pass the basket yet. We're getting close to where we could just pass the basket in old-style way, but the basket lives there on the table. If you can put anything in that basket as you go out, we're deeply, deeply grateful. And for those of you who might be watching and listening online, you can donate and help us sustain the BrownBag series by following the prompt at the bottom of your screen, or you can just simply send a check made out to Music and Art at Trinity Cathedral, stick it in an envelope, and put the address Trinity Cathedral, 2230 Euclid Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44115. And as I say, any format that you can help us with the ongoing nature of the BrownBags, we really appreciate it. So that's it for my soapbox, and I'm going to turn it over to these four fabulous musicians. Enjoy.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We are really excited to play this program. The last time we were here playing was March 10th, 2020. And we actually had a pretty good audience. We played music from the 60s. Or we'll kind of do that today, but it's the 1860s. But this concert has I was calling it a Whitman sampler without the chocolate, but with music. You just don't know what you're going to get. Well, you sort of do. The box tells you, right? In the Whitman sampler box. And that's what your program does, too. But we're going to just do a variety of different composers, some of their gems from their collection of works. And the first composer represented will be J.S. Bach, 1685 to 1750 is when he lived. And he was very prolific, especially sacred music. His job was at St. Thomas Church in Germany, where he had a regular gig. He wrote cantatas for the church, and he had music to prepare every Sunday, so he had a church job, much like Todd does. And he also wrote chamber music, secular music. And we're going to play Brandenburg 3, which is from the set of 6 Brandenburg concertos. But before we do, we want to give you little tastes, little samples of some other Bach's music. And fugue. Now this is for organ. It's often played around Halloween. Here's the toccata and fugue. So those are a couple of Bach's more famous works. But now, the Brandenburg Concerto No. 3. Okay, the next flower in this bouquet is a gorgeous piece by Antonin Dvořák. And Dvorak is famous for his wonderful symphonies. There's one called The New World. And The New World has a very famous English horn solo in it. It goes like this. On a little bit from there. You might recognize that as Going Home. Going Home. Beautiful piece of music. Another one he's famous for is the Humoresque. Dvorak made a trip to America in what year, do you know, Ken? Early 1900s, no doubt, or no? Late 1800s, excuse me, because he died in what, 80? Okay, late 1800s, Dvorak came to America. He was very impressed with what he saw, and what really amazingly stuck with him is the West. Out west, the mesas and the Indians, the influence of the Indians, the artwork of Indians. And so he wrote a string quartet called the American String Quartet. If you want to listen to something glorious someday, put the YouTube on and listen to the American String Quartet. It is stunning. If you listen to the slow movement, you will hear some Native American influence. Ken, do you mind playing that tune? So listen for that, because that is definitely an impression Dvorak had of Native American peoples, and he put his impression to music. So here we have the Lento slow movement from the American String Quartet by Dvorak. Next comes Beethoven. Beethoven was a master at writing these string quartets. They're very difficult. They're very gratifying. He didn't write his first quartet until he was 30 years old. There's a set of quartets. The one we'll be playing from is from the Opus 18 number 1 set. And these were often commissioned by various royalty to be performed. And Beethoven pulls out all the stops on this one. And you can actually, even though he's 30 years old and he lived till, 57 7 or something. You can, and his symphonies were coming along, and they would keep growing into 9 symphonies. You can hear some echoes of what's to come in this particular quartet. You can hear a little bit of Egmont. I hear some of the first symphony. You know, you just hear little tidbits of what the greatness is to come. So, little example of Beethoven. Here we go. Most famous notes in history. Let's do it again. Yeah, let's do it. Of course, it goes on. It goes on and on and on. But those are very famous. Another piece that's very famous that I played when I was learning piano. Of course, is Release. Yes, a very beautiful piano. So now, more Beethoven in the form of the Beethoven String Quartet, Opus 18, number 1, F major. My second page is not up. And there is no time to turn to it. Deep, deep apology. Begin. Yes. Here we go. Take 2. Thank you for bearing with me. You know the panic in my heart as I was seeing the lack of a second page. You guys must have thought, what's going on? Anyway, we're moving on to Puccini, and Puccini, of course, is known for opera. Some of the more famous tunes. Pavarotti does it better. So Puccini. He also wrote a piece for string quartet called Chrysanthemums. Do any of you grow chrysanthemums? Patty? No? Yeah, because chrysanthemums are beautiful. They're mums, the mum family. Right, Carol? And they're beautiful. And Puccini attended the funeral of a friend of his. And in the area where the funeral was held were just hundreds of chrysanthemums in every variety and every color. And for some reason, these just spoke to Puccini, especially the yellow ones. And he decided to go home and write a piece of music based on the flower that moved him so much. And this piece of music is called Chrysanthemums. And it's sort of melancholy, but so beautiful. There are chords in here that are just luscious. Like, for instance, let's play the chord in the third bar. Just hold that chord. Resolve. One more time. That's like a really yummy chord for us. So they're all over this song. So enjoy Chrysanthemums. want to go and get some chrysanthemums for springtime. Okay, the next composer is Mozart. Guess what I would use as an example? Can you guess what I would use as an example of Mozart? Actually, what we're going to play, what you see in your program. Eine kleine Nachtmusik, which is a little night music. And this is a little afternoon music. But this is one of the most well-known pieces of Mozart, very beloved, heard for hundreds of years with delight. So here we have the Eine kleine Nachtmusik by Mozart. And for our last selection, it is a selection by Brahms. He wrote a series of Hungarian dances. How many Hungarian descent do we have here? Anybody? Oh, come on, so much of Cleveland. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You'll enjoy this. Do you enjoy Czardas too? Yes, yes. Well, this is Brahms' Hungarian dance, number 5. Brahms, what do we know Brahms for? The lullaby. You know, I do my crazy one-woman show in various places. If some of you seen this show, I do one-woman violin show. And sometimes if someone yawns in the audience during my show, I will go up and play the Brahms lullaby to them with the very loud cadential note at the end. So, another piece by Brahms, the very famous Second Symphony. And famous symphony, number 2? Yes, symphony number 2. But on to the Hungarian dance in G minor. Hungarian dances typically have a fast, slow, fast, what would you say, a pattern of fast, then the bottom drops out, and it's quite slow. And then all of a sudden the skirts begin to swirl again. And so this is a perfect example of this in this Hungarian dance. You'll hear very fast sections followed by very slow ones. And then it returns to fast. Okay, so here we go.
We thank you for joining us for this wonderful springtime bouquet of music. Go out and enjoy the springtime weather this afternoon, and we hope to see you for the two-harp BrownBag 2 weeks from today, and we hope to see you for our Good Friday evening choral concert right here, 7:30 on a week from Friday. That's the 15th of April. So hope to see you for those occasions, and enjoy the beautiful weather this afternoon. Thank you all once again. Thanks to these great, great musicians here.